Hey everyone, what is going on? It is Colin C back from the Crypto Boys, and do I have a great episode for you today? Well, it's actually a continuation video, part 2 of CellFrame. I already told you guys once that the CellFrame video got a little out of control, so I'm going to break it up into much smaller chunks. I know some of you out there like it into just one long one thrown at you, but for us in the Crypto Boys, I got to be able to keep things organized, and it was getting disorganized. So here we go, part 2. Okay, today in part 2, I'm going to address some questions I have, some things that I think you should be thinking about. It's still not going to be priced. It's still not going to be where I'd be comfortable getting the investment at, where I'd be getting CellFrame at. We're not there just quite yet, but today's going to be some very important questions, and honestly, this might be the most important CellFrame video that I make. I spent way too much time digging into CellFrame. I mean, hours and hours went into this kind of second part, and you still really don't know everything. It's impossible to just go off of what other people are saying, media, Reddit, all these other articles and stuff. So take this as a grain of salt. It's not financial advice. This is the way I look at projects. This is the way the Crypto Boys do their research. I can tell you this for sure. There's no one out there that puts in the amount of time we do. And I shouldn't say no one. Someone may just do just as much or if not more research than us, but we do a lot of research. We make sure we're bringing you guys legitimate projects that we believe in, and just going through projects to make sure you're not losing your money and it's working out well. Okay, so I'm going to start this in kind of a small, medium, and high type of level as far as what I think are questions going forward. The small level I want to get into real quick is their roadmap. Okay, so jumping down into CellFrame's roadmap, as you can see, their website's awesome. Not going to go over that again, but their website's awesome. But their roadmap is still rather ambiguous. Do I like their roadmap? Am I okay with it? Sure. Does it turn me away? No. But does it make me think like, more could be done? Who's working on the projects? A little bit more timeline. The only timeline we have on this entire roadmap is this March 31st mainnet launch, that bridge with Ethereum, which is going to be huge, and I think could potentially pump the price up a little bit. You might get a little bit of FOMO buying in before, but who knows? But the roadmap is just it looks good, it looks cool, it's visually stimulated, but it's not the best roadmap as far as when things are happening, what's going to happen along the way, when we're going to be expecting new huge timelines, new breakthroughs, and things like that. Now, before I get on the roadmap too much, I do want to say the space CellFrame's in with this quantitative cryptography is that it's moving so quickly, and it's really still so far away that I understand the difficulty of really making a roadmap with true dates and things like that, because they probably don't want to put them out if they don't have any dates. So I do understand that, but a little bit less vagueness of at least who's working on the project, when they're working on it. I mean, you always talk about Dimitri talks about his team all the time in his AMAs. I watched like every one I possibly could, probably watched too many, but tell us something. Let us know. We want to know who's working on what, why they're working on it, and which person's going to do it, and why this person should be doing it. I mean, just little things like that investors would like to see that really wouldn't take all that much time, because I'm assuming these people are already doing it, right? The medium question mark I have is their team. Their team seems to be legit, and Dimitri seems to, I got some questions, but seems to be legit. I absolutely love that Dimitri likes to get out in front of people. He is in the public's face. He is, pushing this project along. AMAs left and right. All this stuff's going on. Their social media game is not great. Their marketing game is okay. Their Telegram followers, like 16,000 or something, is crazy. Everything else is just kind of blah. If you go on their Facebook and you go on their Instagram or whatever it is, I don't even think they have an Instagram. You fact check me on that, people. But, everything else just kind of seems blah, kind of seems overdone now. So jumping into their team really quick, and obviously the theme of their website continues, which is absolutely beautiful. It's very well done. But you can see their team. You can't click on any of them. The only ones you can really click on is Dimitri, which is a CEO, CTO. You see him all the time, everywhere. The couple of them have their LinkedIns up, but they're kind of tough to get to. So again, I would like to see a lot more just kind of open book on their team. I want to look them up. I hate to go back to Harmony, but it's something that Harmony does very well. They're wide open with who's working on what and when, and not being able to click on more than 3/4 of their team members. I just don't really like that. It makes me question some things. You can click on Dimitri's Facebook, but it is pretty much all about the war right now and things going on, and I would just avoid it if I were you, honestly. I dug through years of what's going on, and I don't hold people accountable for what they did years ago. That's crazy. But for right now, I think his mind is probably somewhere else as well. So they got a lot going on over in Russia, clearly. So I don't fault him for that. But that's his team. I would like to know more about the development, the project, all that stuff, through who's working on what. Like, who are these people? That's a question I do have. That is something that came up in my research. Still in that medium group of kind of questionable things I have is DEMLABS. Okay, obviously Dimitri said that that DEMLABS and a bunch of AMAs is the parent company of CellFrame and a couple other things. But the parent company, if you look up what parent company means, literally parent company is a parent company is maintains a majority interest in another company, giving it control of its operations. So DEMLABS would have, if you go by that definition, DEMLABS would have a whole lot to do with CellFrame and everything underneath that umbrella of DEMLABS. However, and I understand he's looking at more, DEMLABS is looking at more of outsourcing, but if you go to DEMLABS' Facebook page, which I'm going to pull up right now, it isn't exactly stellar by any means at all. There hasn't been posts on there for years. Really from 2018, there was a couple. They only have 83 likes. So you have 17,000 followers on one of your baby companies, or whatever you call it, one of the companies under your umbrella, and your parent company has almost nothing done, and there's very vague things going on here. You really don't see much. It's almost all in Russia anyways, in Russian. Again, this is a solid size question for me, is like, well, if this is such a big company and it's so important, how come, this wasn't better ran years and years and years ago? Really, when it was created, it looks like in 2017, and he left it, and then now it's still a part of him, because there's a couple links in here that'll take you to their website, which is trash, and then there's a couple links in here that'll take you to CellFrame's website. You can come check all this out for yourself. Do your own research, but again, I'm just diving in deep as I can to help you guys out. Now, the last question I have about this is, so this is DLabs, is at their first post-quantum cryptocurrency. So basically, if you read through this little chart here, and you guys, and I'll put this link and down in the description below, but basically it does the exact same thing that CellFrame is doing. So my question is, and my most important question is, why did DEMLABS not work? So how come DEMLABS didn't work? And maybe there's a great reason. I don't know. This would be a question that if I can get on his AMA, that I will literally ask, is that why didn't DEMLABS work? If it's doing the same thing and we're still not seeing the team on either one of these projects, really, I mean, you have some pictures and some names out there, but why is this so important? And why did you branch off to CellFrame that's now all kind of in English, but DEMLABS was kind of all in Russian? So, I don't know the disconnect there. I don't know if I'm overlooking things. I don't know. But these are questions that I absolutely have before I'd be throwing fat bags at CellFrame. Now, can it run up? It absolutely can, 100%. Can it solve this can it solve the quantum computer, security issues? Possibly, I don't know, but these questions have to be answered before I dive all in like I have in some of my other projects, and you guys should really be asking these questions too. Even if you're a big CellFrame, holder, you love it, you're involved with it and everything, you love, CellFrame's your boy, it is your favorite project. That's fine, but these are questions you need to ask yourself, and DEMLABS definitely brings up a lot of them, and these are just simple ones that I found that I have questions for. On top of that, in 2018, 2017, if you already know this quantum cryptography was coming out, and maybe this is just a little bit different, and obviously I'll bring that back up, but maybe this is just a little bit different he's showing you here, but basically quantum computers able to hang most of the modern cryptocurrencies, and essentially doing the same thing. The cost of transaction grows with a complex network, the cost of token, blah, 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 blah. But it's very similar to what CellFrame is doing now. Why did you have to switch is my main question. Why is DEMLABS still involved? Did it just not work in Russian, so you went to CellFrame that's now in more of English? I don't know. Those are questions I have, okay? So let's go on to my third and my high level questionable things I have. Now, this is one that I think everybody has. I first want to explain this by saying, is it really that high risk of a question? This is my highest questionable thing about CellFrame in my opinion. But again, that doesn't mean that this is deterring me from investing for sure. It doesn't mean that everything's gloom and doom by any means, because I had these exact questions that I'm telling you right now about CellFrame, I had about Harmony, which I'm about the most bullish, and the Crypto Boys are about the most bullish they've ever been on a project on Harmony, you know, Ada and these other ones. But I had the same question with it, is why will CellFrame win? Why is CellFrame going to be the one? It's so low of market cap. It's so early in the space. Again, we are still 5 to really 10 years out from these quantum computers coming out, and we don't even know for a fact that they're going to work. We're not 100% sure that they're going to come and steal all your money, but there's even saying that they can get into your Bitcoin wallet. They can pretty much hack anything, but they're even saying that you could do it in like your Visa transactions and things like that. So who knows if the government's not going to get involved? Who knows with what's going to happen? And why is CellFrame going to be the main driver in this in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years? I don't know. That's my question, is that how are they going to take enough market share to keep, you know, blowing up their price to make sure that they're still out leading the space? Now, maybe they will, and maybe Dimitri and his team that we don't know much about is like already in the background and already doing all these things. But it is a question that you absolutely, if you don't ask if you think all my other, you know, questionable things are not worth it and they're stupid, this is one you have to have on your list. Even if you're the biggest holder and you've got all these, you know, bags of CellFrame everywhere, this is a question you should be asking yourself, and you should ask yourself with every crypto you get in, is why is this one going to be the one? Why is it? I do want to address one thing of FUD really quick that I've seen other people talk about, is why does, you know, one wallet hold 75% of the tokens, which doesn't really even make sense, but that's just for the bridging process of, you know, Binance Smart Chain and Ethereum. So that's really not a thing that has bothered me, but I've seen that come up in questions, and I have seen a couple people say they got, you know, deleted out of the Telegram, but I haven't seen that very often, or I really haven't seen that at all except for that. So I'm not even going to step on that. I just want to, I do want to go after that FUD and say, yeah, that's probably just FUD. I wouldn't worry too much about that. If that's your number one worry, then you probably are in love with this project and you probably like it. I am way more concerned. I have way more questions about the other things I just stated than that particular statement that was floating out there somewhere. All right, guys, so that's pretty much all I have for my questions today. If you guys want to start up a chat in the comments below, I'd love to chat with you. If you guys don't have any of these questions, or you have answers to some of my questions, or you think you have answers to some of my questions, I'd love to discuss it with you. But again, I'm just trying to bring you the real facts as I see them, as my research has gone through. I've done a lot of it, and this is just going to be part 2 of probably what is going to be a 3-part series, because I do want to go over price, a little bit of TA, some things that I saw on the chart that I do like that I think is going to be worth it, and a couple other loose end things that I'll clear up in the next video in part 3. But as it sits today, guys, CellFrame is such in an infancy stage in such a new market. This new quantitative cryptography, these computers coming out, we just don't know really anything about them just quite yet. They could be huge. They could be, you know, wrecking everything, and CellFrame could take all of the market share, which is going to make this coin absolutely explode. Or maybe it's just kind of like, blah, like it doesn't do anything. So right now it's pretty early in the process. So you have to make your decisions of how early you want to get in and how much you believe in it. Because I will say that is how you make money, is that the earlier you get in, the more convictions you have towards a play, then that's how you make a lot of money, is that you buy really, really low and you sell really, really high. If you guys got anything out of this video today, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel. The Crypto Boys are bringing out new information. We are killing it. We enjoy having you guys with us. We truly enjoy bringing you guys new projects every single day and helping out wherever we possibly can. Join us for our live streams. We've got tons of things going on with our YouTube channel. We just want to let you guys know that we truly do appreciate you guys rocking with the fittest crypto channel on YouTube, and I am out.